He was born in between Afghanistan and Pakistan. And the most ethical story is that it is the Swat Valley of Pakistan. So he traveled through the Pakistan, Afghanistan to the North India and all the Punjab and all those places. And then he also went to the different places of India, and he also came to Kathmandu, Nepal. And after Kathmandu, Nepal, he also went to Tibet to establish Buddhism. So from Kathmandu to Tibet, the whole place were full of demons. All the wild beings or demons, we can say. So most of them are considered as demons, or we can say ghosts also. So they try to destroy Dharma, they try to challenge Guru Rinpoche, and Guru Rinpoche kind of take them in control and warn them. Now I will either destroy you, or you have to promise that you will protect the Dharma and the practitioners of Dharma. So that's how Guru Rinpoche became the crucial figure of creating so many protector gods in Tibetan Buddhism.
Okay. Okay. He come after Buddha, but is one of the main figure of, or the next gods after him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I understand. But these gods are living. I'm not sure to understand that. These gods are living in the realm God.
They are Buddha.
Huh?
This image we have are all Buddha.
Oh yes. Okay.
So
different part of
Buddha, maybe we cannot call them God also.
Yes. All right. I have something different, but I was thinking about that. I'm surprised because in the Buddhist school when I'm teaching,
yeah,
I learned that, and this is the same for, every monastery, the kids are not learning about, when they are very old, they are not learning about the Four Noble Truths or about many important things, fundamental things in Buddhism.
yeah.
And I don't really understand why they are not just studying
they don't know
that.
about Four Noble Truths.
Yeah, because this is the meaning of ignorance. Even in Tibetan, I don't care, I don't know, but why do they? When I speak with one student about that, can you explain me the Four Noble Truths? He just don't understand what is that. So how can I consider him as Buddhist people if he just don't know this kind of concept? So yeah, I'm curious about the education of Buddhism, in fact, in Nepal and in all over the world. I don't know.
Okay.
Why is it like that? I don't.
It's like the monks, the students you are meeting is mostly the primary students, and only in the advanced teachings we have these Four Noble Truths in very extended version. Like we can learn as much as about Four Noble Truths in the advanced teachings. But the school you are teaching in is probably the primary school, number one thing. But again, when you bring this question is when you are becoming a Buddhist, so Four Noble Truths should be the driving factor, the deciding factor. You learn Four Noble Truths and you decide to become Buddhist. But the religions around the world are mostly like you become religious from your birth. Your family is Buddhist, you become Buddhist. Your family decides to put you into monastery and you are into the monastery. And that might be a problem, but the main problem I see from my perspective is that when you don't know about Four Noble Truths, and when you don't know about being taking renunciation, and you are as a child going into the monastery, becoming a Buddhist, also there is one benefit that when in your childhood you learn about Buddhism, is it gets deep into your mind. So you become good, like a good Buddhist. But another problem is for monk monastery. There is like when small kids got into the monastery without knowing anything, and they don't know the defect of the samsara, the materialistic world. They don't know the problem about the materialistic world, and when they get adult or teenage or adult, between adult and teenage, many monks and nuns want to become lay people. That is one problem, because you did not become a Buddhist by renunciation, by the knowledge of Four Noble Truths. You were put into monastery by some parents or some guardians. So that's kind of another problem which comes with it.
Yeah, because you have. I think you have to.
Also, and for lay people and many others who do not learn the advanced teachings of Buddhism, they learn a bit of Four Noble Truths without knowing them as Four Noble Truths. For instance, we have this translated version from the Tibetan teachings in English is also like the words of my perfect teacher. That is the common teaching for all the lay people, like everybody. And that's also mostly in the primary school also. That's taught in the primary school also, and that is mainly taught to lay people also. And there you almost have everything about Four Noble Truths, but you don't use Four Noble Truths as a set.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about this book. This is a good book. Did you read it?
Yes, I
Yes. Yes, but the problem is, as you said, some children are going to this Buddhist school monastery because of their family.
Yeah, because of family. Because of poverty also some.
Yes, this is a solution because I can get some bed and food for nothing. So this is a reality also. And that's why I observed also in the school, some children want to become monks. I'm surprised that they want to. So they decided, and one of them escaped from his house to come in the school.
In the monastery.
In the monastery. So there is some children very aware about that, and they want to become monks. But most of them, this is because of poverty or because of their family. But I think most of the children are like that, and I understand that. In my point of view, you have to become monks after you have to but you can become monks when you decided it, and not if someone else told you that. And most of all, you want to become monks when you learned about
Four Noble Truths.
No, when you learned about the problems in the world.
Yeah.
If you because that's why I observed they are very pure children. They are not affected by. Of course, there are some problems in their family, but in the school there is no problems. There can no food problem, no fighting with other boys. One religion, so they are preserved of these problems, and I like it. But I'm thinking maybe one day it will be. Good for them to know about the problems, about the world,
about the
but many things, because this is not like that everywhere. And yes, that's what I don't really accept in Buddhism education. The children most of the children just don't know about the problems and just don't know why they are learning Buddhism. I don't know, but this is you said the same things. Kind of this way.
But they can be even if they cannot be one good Buddhist practitioner in future, but most of them will become a good parrot. You know parrot?
Parrot?
They can imitate whatever we say. Parrot, the bird. Parrot bird. You don't know the parrot?
No.
If you say I love you, then parrots will also say I love you.
Yes.
The bird is able to imitate you. Whatever you say, they can say it again themselves. And we Buddhists consider one person, Buddhist person, who knows all the teachings, who have learned all the teachings, but have no practice, have no implementation, is like that parrot.
Okay.
You can say all the words of Buddha, but it's not into your mind, not into your practice.
But to understand.
But that parrot will also help, because Dharma is diminishing. Dharma is getting even degenerated, as I already said, is getting degenerated. Dharma is becoming business. Dharma is becoming politics. Dharma is becoming fashion. Dharma is becoming entertainment. But this, for most people, is not like true practice of Dharma. But without the practice of Dharma, there are some parrots. The monks will become parrots who will say the words of Dharma. So even it is not beneficial for them, it will be beneficial to others. For example, even if I don't have real practice of Buddhism, because I am explaining a lot about Buddhism, so even I don't have the practice, implementation, I am helping you. So if 5 people come here, if 2 people are not that good practitioner, if the 3 people are very good practitioner, it will help you. So that's how like this monk will be beneficial in some way. But even like some monks will get spoiled, ruined. But no matter, like even in the garden, when you cultivate, like plant seeds, so all the seeds will not become fruit. Mm-hmm. Some will get spoiled.
Of course. But what about you? It was your choice to become monks at the beginning?
Yeah, for myself, it was almost like what you want. It's like I had my choice. I had my choice in the kid time also. When I was in 6th standard in school, I tried to become monk, but my relatives, my close people, wanted me to complete primary education in a school, and after primary school also, I again had this choice to go to monastery and study Buddhism. And when I started studying Buddhism in monastery, even if the monastery situation was very difficult for me, but the teaching was so good. The teaching was always gluing me in the monastery. I could not leave that teaching till it is complete. So that's how I was able to complete all the teachings in my monastery.
And you said, this is also a career things in monastery. You're also learning about Dharma and many things, but so you don't learn about basic education, like
modern education.
Modern education, like science, math, English, and English also. That's right, no?
Yeah.
Where did you learn English? By yourself or not in monastery?
In my school, not in monastery. In my school, and I was considered a brilliant student in my school. In monastery, I was not that good. In my school, I was considered a brilliant student, and especially with maths also, I was considered a good student. And but I think I also like from watching TVs, watching sports, movies, and I think I maintained my English. So that's how like I can be able to at least express my understandings and my feelings to other English speakers.
This is very good, and I'm surprised to don't see many monks able to do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I meet very brilliant, very brilliant guru.
Yeah.
But they cannot express their art to me.
One of the problems I have seen in my monastery environment, not only my monastery, but most of the monastery society is You are, like you said, you are not having modern education as much as you need. You are not having this language knowledge. You should know the universal language, your main national language, and you are not having that. And the number 3, you are just told to practice. You are not told to speak in the public, in front of people. You are not supposed to, like, not told to or guided to perform. It's like a performance I am giving to you. I am speaking in English, I am teaching the Dharma, that means I am performing. So in a school there is like extracurricular activities which you need to perform. There is quiz contest, there is essay writing, there is news reading, all kind of activities in modern school where you have to perform. And there are sports and games also. But I think speaking in front of lots of people, also there is debate in monastery. So that's why the monks should have these things, quality, these 3 qualities, to be able to adjust anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Because they don't have this, so after we come out of the monastery, most of the monks cannot adjust anywhere. Because, like myself also, my whole way of thinking is different than the society in Nepal. So I'm always contradicting with the Nepali people. My thinking was different. Even I am teaching, they don't get satisfied with the teaching because we think differently. They think materialistically. And yes.
Yes, this is a very good explanation. That's what I'm thinking also. And yes, this is, of course, this is hard to change the things, but yeah, I'm thinking about all these people in Parthi monastery also, all these students who will become monks, and I'm wondering what they will do exactly.
Yeah, and what I was saying like, so I cannot adjust, or the monks cannot adjust into the lay people society. It's become difficult. The good monk teacher becomes like an alien to the society, because the teaching, the guidance he gives is like a curse to them. And again, when we become teacher, we are not having good place in the monastery also. Till you are monks, you have place, you have food, you have also some sponsor friend or your family who keep helping you. But when you become teacher, most of the monasteries don't have good place to leave you in monastery unless you have this teaching job, and also your friends, your relatives, your sponsors, most of them stop helping you financially because you have become a teacher. So if you don't have salary, if you don't have your own source of income, it becomes like difficult. And in Nepali tradition, there is one saying like, you become like a washerman's donkey. Washerman's donkey does not belong to the home or to the market.
I'm sorry, about what did you say just about that?
Yeah, they say like washerman of the donkey of the washerman. A donkey owned by the washerman, he does not belong to either washerman or to the market. He is free. he has no place. It's like
so this is very hard, in fact, for after monastery for every monk. No, not every monk. Every monk who want to become teacher. If you don't become teacher, what?
Yeah, if you find some place to teach, it's a little bit okay. But if you do not teach, anyhow, it becomes difficult after you become teacher.
I mean, you cannot stay monks all your life. You can. Can you stay?
We can stay monks all the life.
In the monastery?
Yeah, in the monastery. But because you have committed half of your life as a student in monastery, now when you commit half of your life in the monastery, the second half of your life, you have to think seriously. Because only studying Buddhism is the purpose of your life, or what is your purpose of your life? Because your life will be finished. You might be practicing Buddhism a lot, but I think you might need to experience the world also. You might need to travel, you might need to learn and teach other people. There are lots of things you need to do with the society also. It's not like you always fear with the society and always be in the monastery.
Yes.
Then maybe you are awkward.
Yeah, it looks comfortable to stay all alive in a safe place, having food and bed.
Yeah. But
It
you are
looks easy.
like you are not accepting the challenge of, like, you go into the society, there's this challenge to teach people, to turn people's mind. And number two is preserve your mind in the society. When you are in the society, monastery, in the Himalaya caves meditating, it's easy to control your mind. It's not difficult. But when you go into the society, control your mind is also a difficult challenge.
Of course, this is same for every human being in normal life. I mean, and this is why European people and so many people are interested in Buddhism philosophy, because they think. Okay, I would just there's so many oh no, it's good. They think the philosophy of Buddhism can help them, and this is interesting for me also to understand how to to be peaceful with yourself, to control yourself, to control your feelings, to control everything. So this is very interesting. But of course, if there is only that all your life, you're just...
Also, we can say, like, you can learn Buddhism which will help you to organize your life. Because without Buddhism or some spiritual teachings, your life becomes unorganized. It becomes mess. Yeah.
What time is it? Do you
I don't know. Maybe I could see the mobile. It's 3:23.
Okay. What do you think? We can stop? I mean, you can drink something.
It's your wish.
Me, I don't care. It's okay. It's okay for me. We can keep going.
If you have questions, you can continue.
Yes. I would ask so many questions, but yes, in fact, I asked everything. Okay, maybe now I will maybe ask you more about the country, Nepal country, maybe from your point of view, because now you're a teacher also, so you're in contact with the world and the society. And maybe how do you perceive things in Nepal, and how do you feel the future of Nepal also? Yeah, because it's moving a lot after earthquake and before, of course, but with politics also, there's many things moving.
Earthquake is nothing regarding politics, and when you are asking about my perceptions, firstly I should maybe say the common perception. The common perception is going into destruction. Nepal has no future. That's why people want to migrate into the West or some of abroad countries. Because we have this humongous amount of politician leaders who drive the country, and who drive the country by drunk driving. You know, drunk driving. When you are drunk, you cannot drive properly. So, and the biggest problem is the selfish nature of the people around here, is the culture, and people are only being money-minded and very immoral, and the young people are not saying no future in Nepal, so most of them want to go abroad and do some normal job to have their normal life. But at the same time, there are so many people also who are trying to be in Nepal and trying to do social service, but also out of them, most of them are trying to become more famous and trying to earn more money than the people who are going to abroad. Because when you are into social service, people trust you, people provide you help, people provide you money, people provide you volunteership, and those people who are like founder of organization, and like those organization, most of them doesn't seem like doing a good work. So that's why like there are so many problems. People are always blaming the politicians. The main problem is uneducation. They don't have education. Even though politicians would be selfish, but if they are educated, and if the young people of Nepal would be in the driving seat, it will be a little bit better. Even if they do this corruption thing, they at the same time they can also bring some development in the country. But now coming to my perception is, why is this happening? Because our Buddhist philosophy is the cause and effect, and when we talk about Four Noble Truths, you find the problem, you find the cause of problem, and you solve the problem. So I earlier said that the future of Nepal is, which seems only darkness. There is no light. But we should see the problem and where the problem arises, where the cause of the problem is where, and the problem is the religion itself and the culture. The culture of Nepali people is so bad nowadays comparing to like most of the Western countries also. The most profound spiritual teachings, spiritual religion happened in India and Nepal, which is Hinduism and Buddhism. But people are too much immoral over here when I am able to see nowadays in Nepal. So where the problem happened or started is there was this religions which started in wrong way. They used the religion in wrong way, and that's why people became immoral. So I want to explain in my way, like in Nepal, although we have lots of Buddhists and other religions also, it was considered a Hindu country, and also said like majority are Hindu people. But that's not the matter over here. Right now I'm saying. So I'm only considering the edge of Hindu. So